In the case of planned degassing of the Siberian Plume, there are three main potential scenarios. So these scenarios are based on two stages of the degassing process, the early phase and the later phase. Here's a brief overview of each scenario. 1. Minimal damage to Russian territories. If the process of degassing and releasing excessive lava from the secondary magmatic chambers is meticulously calculated by an international team of specialists, with careful consideration of all geological features and extensive modeling, then no complications or accidents will arise during either the early or later stages of degassing. In this scenario, the minimum damage to Russia would result in the loss of 5 to 7% of its territory, with a worst-case scenario affecting no more than 10%. This could cover an area within a radius of 300 to 400 miles. Under such a scenario, it might even be possible to protect the territories of major cities in the Krasnoyarsk region, avoiding human deaths. In the best-case scenario, it may be possible to redirect lava flow towards the Arctic seas, potentially allowing Russia to expand its territory through the addition of newly formed coastal areas. 2. Moderate damage to Russian territory. This scenario assumes that the initial stages of planned degassing will proceed without challenges. But some unforeseen circumstances during the later phase will result in an unplanned gas explosion or lava eruption. However, since a portion of gases and lava would have already been released at this stage, the likely outcome would be the spread of liquid basalt lava, similar to what we observe in Iceland or Hawaii, or a moderate explosive eruption. In this case, Russia could lose up to 25 to 30% of its territory, equating it to an area of approximately 1.5 to 1.9 million square miles. Cities with a radius of over 600 miles from the eruption site may be affected. However, this scenario would not spell a death sentence for Russia, nor would it escalate into a civilizational-scale global catastrophe. At least humanity will be able to endure the resulting temperature swings and overcome the negative consequences of such an eruption in Siberia. 3. Maximum damage to Russia and the world. This scenario assumes that degassing will begin too late or will be conducted by unqualified specialists who fail to account for geological features during drilling. Insufficient research, calculations, and modeling may result in an incorrect selection of the drilling traverse through soft or fractured rock formations, potentially triggering accidents and loss of control over the situation. If complications arise at the very first stage of degassing, gases and lava will not have been released yet, causing pressure in the secondary magma chamber to increase significantly. Under such circumstances, events may unfold into one of two catastrophic scenarios. Either an instantaneous, devastating explosive eruption of the Siberian Plume, or prolonged catastrophic eruption akin to the Siberian Traps. However, the likelihood of this scenario is extremely low, as it is hard to imagine a lack of competent international preparation for such a large-scale project. Thus, the most optimistic and likely scenario assumes that only 5 to 7% of Russia's territory would be affected during planned degassing. Even in case of complications at later stages of degassing, only 25 to 30% of the country's territory would be lost. The risk of more severe destruction during degassing, either for Russia or the world, is negligible. Therefore, conducting planned and controlled degassing remains the only viable chance to save Russia and humanity as a whole. This approach is far more advantageous and rational than inaction. Such a strategy would avert a global catastrophe and provide humankind with crucial time to develop further solutions.